All right. In this video, we'll be talking about Flexbox. All right. Flexbox allow us to align the elements in our page neatly and orderly. Okay. For instance, Buddhist Code Academy website. This is the website, and see how everything is neatly aligned. The navigation bar to start with is aligned. This container here is aligned. We can see an image here with elements at the right that are aligned together. Okay, even coming here, enrollment, assessment, class session, class schedule, learning and practice, hands-on project. You can see how everything is neatly arranged. Coming here again, the boot camp, you can see how everything is aligned neatly. So this is what Flexbox help us to do. All right, it helps you to organize your web page, helps you to organize the elements in your web page however you want it to be. All right, so let's go to coding, and I'll be creating flexbox.html. All right, so I'll be having four divs. One is going to be a parent div, then we're going to be having three different divs inside: div 1, div 2, and div 3. So I'll give this an ID of main div. I would give this an ID of div 1, ID of div 2, and finally ID of div 3. Okay, so we have main div, we have div 1, we have div 2. Okay, no, let me just style the main div. All right. To start with Flexbox, we give it a display of flex. All right. Give it a display of flex, right? And everything is aligned horizontally. Okay, that's the default direction. Then I'm going to be introducing us to something called flex direction, and we have either row, column, or reverse, or column reverse. By default, the direction is row, which we've seen already. It's aligned horizontally. Immediately you declare an element, a display of flex, it it aligns it horizontally by default. We can have column if we want to align it vertically. All right. We can have column reverse, which is going to be the opposite, inverted. As you can see, div 3, div 2, div 1, as against div 1, div 2, and div 3. So we can also have row reverse. Okay, and it's going to align it horizontally but inverted. As you can see, div 3, div 2, and div 1. So, but I would leave the default to be row. I'll leave it to the default. Good. Then we have another style called the justify contents. Okay, we can use, let's use space between. As you can see the elements are between each other. Okay, um so let's give our individual div style. Okay, I want the border to be 1 pixel solid red for div 1. Yeah, div 2 should be blue, right? Then div 3 border should be yellow. Then I want the parent div to be brown. Okay, perfect. So if I should refresh, I can see div 0, div 1 red, div 2. Okay, let me give the main border black. Good. So div 1 is red, div 2 is blue, and div 3 is yellow. So let me change div 3 to green, so it's gonna be something darker, bold. So can be able to monitor the elements. So back to space between, we have space around, and it gives space around the element, as you can see. Space here, there's space here, div 2, there's space here, there's space here, so space around. We also have center. Okay, all the elements come together to the center. All right. We have stats. Yeah, we have stats. So everything move to the beginning, and finally we have end. Okay, moves to the end. So that's it for justify content. Then let's enter flex grow. All right. So basically, okay, I'm going to leave it as um, space evenly. I think um, that is the default, so I'm just going to remove it entirely. Okay, good. Um, okay, let's leave it as space evenly. So flex grow is going to give our elements different size. Okay, basically they're all of equal size. So if I should give this a flex grow of 1, give this flex grow of 2, and I give this flex grow of 1. If we should refresh, we would notice that div 1 and div 3 are of the same size, and div 2 is twice as much as each element. Okay, so that's what flex grow is. Sometimes you might not want your element to have equal size. You might want one to be times 2 than the other. All right, that's what flex grow is for. We can play around it and give this 2 and come back here and refresh. You can see div 2 and div 3 are twice as much as div 1 because the flex grow has been increased. All right. By default, the align items, it's to all the elements. We have flex end. So the align items is okay. Let's make this a column. Good. So the align items is opposite to the justify content, right? If your items are horizontally aligned and use justify content, yes, it affects them horizontally. Okay, align items is the opposite. So our elements are of direction of column, and our align items affects the opposite, right? We shifted it to flex end and you see it went to the end. Okay, it's column which is vertically aligned, and our align items which was flex end affected it horizontally. Okay, we have flex start. If you refresh, it goes to the start. Okay, so this is just like direct opposite of justify content again, because our elements are aligned in the vertical manner and is affecting them horizontally. Good. We have apart from that, we have center. We have center. We have normal. Good. So that's it for align items. Then self align. So then there's what we call align self, and that one works individually. Align items work as it affects the whole element, while align self affects just an individual element. So I can give this align self of center. So let's take this thing back to column where we can really see the effect and align items start. Okay, good. So if we should refresh, you can see that align self affected just diphtheria, right? While other elements were aligned um, flex stats. So that is it for the basics of flex box. All right.